This might be nice to write down just as a checklist of here's what I need to know, and I'm not presenting. There we go. So the directions for the first part. Write the first 6 terms of the sequence. It's multiple choice. It will give you equations that will say a sub n equals, and it will have something here. You have to write the first 6 terms. You can. Are you recording me? I'm recording it anyway. Okay. Good. All right. So find the first 6 terms. Multiple choice. Make sure you start with 0 or 1. You tell me. Start with 1. Our first term. We talked about it could be 0, but we haven't seen that. We've always started with 1. Next, describe the pattern. And it gives you a list of numbers. You have to tell if it's geometric or arithmetic. Write the next term. So you have to give the next term. And then write a rule. So you have to write an equation for it. Again, multiple choice. So what I would suggest doing with these multiple choice questions, write it and solve it on your own, and then see which one matches your answer. Don't just look at all the options and try to figure it out. Do your own work, and then make sure that it's on there. Yes, Annie?
Are we going to have to tell if it is or isn't arithmetic, or is it arithmetic or geometric? Like, does it qualify to be one? You know what I mean? Like, instead of comparing the two, or we can put, like, yes or no?
So it says describe the pattern. It'll give you a list of numbers, and then you'll have to, the 4 multiple choice options, it'll say either geometric or arithmetic, so you have to choose, and then it will give what the 5th term is, which you have to solve, and then it will give an equation.
So it's not a yes or no, it's an arithmetic or geometric.
Correct. So it might say 2, 4, 6, 8, and then letter A might be geo, A sub 5 equals 15, and a sub n equals, and give some equation. And you have to decide, and then letter B will be something else, and you have to decide which option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, there's front page.
How many questions are
About 20 multiple choice, and then 5 or 6. There will be a written portion. That'll be on paper, and I'll get to that in a second. But there's about 5 of those. Not super long. Write the series using summation notation. So it lists numbers, and you have to be able to write it with our summation in front. Now, some of the options look the same, except the only difference is one of them starts with 0. The other one starts with 1. Remember, we've started with 1. So with it being multiple choice, you've got to be really careful with how you look at these. Are you filming right now, Emma?
No.
And why did Grace wave?
I don't know. I was like,
Okay. It's okay if you're filming.
no.
I just,
I didn't
okay. Yeah. But we just need to pay attention to some little picky things like this in those multiple choice questions. It'd be easy to miss one because you're not paying attention to those small things. A couple other questions say find the sum. It gives you something in summation notation. For those, all you need to do is be able to plug them into your calculator. That's what? This is all multiple choice so far. Yep. Write a rule for the nth term of the sequence, and then find a sub 13. So it gives you a list of terms. Write a rule. Find the 13th term. Same thing. Same thing. Arithmetic and geometric. There's the first page. Second page, it gives what? It just said 13. Yeah, so you have to find a certain term. Next page, it gives you something like this, like we did today. A sub 2 equals 7. A sub 5 equals 24. And you have to write either a geometric or arithmetic equation, just like what we did today.
So it's looking for the okay.
So you have to write an equation. Again, multiple choice, but it'll give you that information.
Actually, that information or different?
No, not actually that. Different numbers. Well, you'd have to write an equation, like what we did today. So you'd have to find the common difference or ratio, all that kind of stuff. It would tell you.
It's like 2497 over.
Right. Yep, if it's arithmetic, that's what we'd look to do. Well, then they'd have to give you. Well, then we'd write our two equations, like what I showed today. We'd write two equations with the information we have, and then we'd solve for a sub 1 in one of them and plug it in, like in the one I showed.
Are notes allowed on the test?
Handwritten notes are allowed. Yep, like definitions, equations, formulas. A couple examples.
You got 2 minutes left.
Yep, plenty of time. I can talk until the bell, and we can do that. Unless you want me to stop.
No, I already talked.
Okay.
Faster.
Well, let's see.
Go, go, go.
Find the sum of the infinite geometric series if it exists. So that's what we did yesterday, right? Finding the sum. We used those two equations on the slide that I had up earlier. Remember, the sum of n equaled a sub 1 over 1 minus the rate. That was for a geometric. That slide that we looked at yesterday that said, what have we learned so far? That would be a really good slide to have in your notes. Really, really good slide.
So,
Not what?
Oh, it's negative.
Not if it's negative, if it's exponential growth. So if our rate is like 1.25, I think that's one we saw yesterday, that would be exponential growth, and we can't sum. It has to be between -1 and 1. Yep. All right, the written portion. I'll talk quick. Ish. That was all multiple choice. Give an example of an infinite geometric series that has a sum that does not exist. That's word for word, one of the questions. Shh. Bring your own. Keep your own. Keep your own. Where did... Write a rule, then graph. So geometric rule, arithmetic rule, then graph. There's one story problem, which you will be able to do. You'll need to know how to find the sum of a geometric sequence to solve the story problem. Another one where you're writing a rule, and then show the mathematics the calculator computes when the following summation is typed in. Then give the sum. So it gives you some type of summation, the sum of something. You have to show what the calculator does when it finds that. So you need to know like what a summation means and write that out. If it was, say it was 2n, we went from 1 to 3, what I would expect to see is 2 times 1 plus 2 times, 2 times 2 plus 2 times 3, right? That's what the calculator is doing, taking each term, putting it into our equation, and taking the sum of all of them. So I would expect it to be written out just like this. And that is your test. Not super long, not anything crazy. Oh, do we not have real bells? Oh, sorry, I kept you an extra minute. Ring, ring, ring. See you later. It depends where we're at time-wise. Like,